wrist mobility routine. So we're gonna start off with your palms flat. My knees are behind me, underneath my hips. I have my knees about 2 fists apart. And I'm spreading my fingers, my hands as flat as I can make them. And we're just gonna start off by drawing circles, going around like an over your hands and then circling back. So right now I'm away from my hands. I don't feel any stretch in my forearms. But as I go around to the left, right now I'm feeling a stretch on my right side, and then I circle over and I'm trying to push my chest as far over my hands as I can, and I feel a really big stretch in my forearms and back. So I'm gonna do about 5 circles one way, and then I'm gonna reverse direction and go in the other way, starting over my right wrist. So I'm going, right now as I go over my right wrist, I feel a really big stretch in both wrists actually, but also my left wrist as I push away from it. Back. So in terms of a stretch on a scale of 1 to 10, this should be like a 6, maybe even a 5, nothing too intense. Okay, next I'm gonna go on my fists. So I'm on my fists, my palms are facing each other, and then I'm gonna go down onto one, like the back of my hand on one side. And then I'm gonna come back up on my fist and on the back of my hand on my other side. So fist, down, fist, down. When you feel confident in this, you can do them both at the same time. So down, up, down, up. Okay, and I want you to do 10. When you get to 10, I want you to come so that your fingers are spread, and we're just going to come up, right up onto the tips of your fingers as much as you can, and then back down. So up, getting very bendy in your fingers. And I'm thinking of peeling my fingers or my hand up off the floor, right onto my fingertips and down. Okay, now I'm gonna ask you to do something a little uncomfortable. We're gonna take your hands. So now my fingertips are facing my knees. If you can do both hands, do both hands. If you cannot do both hands right now, you're gonna have one hand flat and the other hand is, the back of my hand is on the floor. Then I'm gonna sit back towards my bum. Right now I feel a stretch in my forearm and then back. Sit back and forward. So I want you to do 10 back. You can do 10 on each side. If you're doing both at the same time, then you're gonna have the backs of both hands on the floor and you're just gonna sit back. You're probably gonna feel more on one side than the other side, and that's okay. All right, then lastly, you're gonna take your hands. So you're gonna spin them around. My thumbs are facing outside, and I'm going to turn my hands so my fingertips are looking at my knees. My thumbs are facing the outside of my mat. And then from here, I'm gonna sit back towards my heels. Right now, I'm feeling a big stretch up the inside of my forearm and then forward. So I'm gonna sit back and forward. This can be very intense. So the closer I am to my knees for this particular stretch, the less of a stretch I'm gonna feel. So if it's too intense, then I'm just gonna back up closer to my knees and it gets better. If I want more of a stretch, I'm gonna go farther away from my knees, which is gonna force me into a bigger stretch, okay? And then from here, I'm gonna start to peel my hands up off the floor and then back down. Peel them up off the floor, down. and that is your wrist mobility routine.